is a nation. It's one nation of old. A land built by heroes. Their stories we've been told. Built upon a history of toil, sweat and tears. A Christian land of over 1,000 years. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call, from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. This is the land of the free, where the white cliffs meet the sea. 1,000 years of kings and queens, Oxford and Cambridge English law, Charles Dickens and Bobby Moore, Drake and Nelson sailing the 7 seas. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call, from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George.
You might, Gary. Start talking.
Can you hear me now, mate? I've got to try and fucking transfer this over. Fucking cut out on me, just bastard. I can't see the link knife on the YouTube.
Gary, you might should be in.
The New Forest and the
Like,
Lakeland Fells.
You can hear it.
I hear Wainwright calling me. Now every Englishman he knows the greatest beauty be an English rose. And within this land my spirit will ever be. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call, from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. England, oh England, every woman.
To YouTube.
And good evening to everybody, and I hope everyone's having a good Christmas Eve so far. And Gary, are you with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we are now live.
Yes, good. Good evening, everybody from the Constitutional Movement Worldwide. Just want to wish you all a happy Christmas. Thank you for your continued support throughout the year. As always, you've got some amazing people in the group and us. I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas and a very happy New Year and prosperous one as well. And basically, I'm just here to have a little bit of a chat with you before close down for the Christmas period and tell you a little bit about, you know, what we're going to be doing in the new year. First of all, the new year, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a completely free subscribe. It's not going to cost anybody any money. It's going to be called Talk for Free. Talk for Free station. So that's what's going to be coming up in the new year. Hopefully people will get behind it. And I'm still going to be in the bag of crisps. So it's basically going to be a completely new platform set up by Danny. He's done an absolutely fantastic job, as you'll agree. There's already a few samples on YouTube of things, what the channel looks like, what it's going to look like. So go and check it out. It's called Talk for Free, and have a look at that one. And you can say Happy Christmas now, Nate, if you like, with your fancy hat.
Yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Christmas Eve so far. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Time to shrug off 2019. Let's hit 2020 with a bang. As Gary's already mentioned, we're going to be doing a something in January. I hope you're all going to attend, or as many as possible will attend. We ask everyone, if you please could buy a period costume. It doesn't mean just like a party costume, sort of 1200, 1600 sort of thing. It would be much appreciated. We'll let you know more about that towards the time. But all I'm going to say is, please, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. It's not about what you're going to get. It's about spending time together. It's about relationships, memories. So I hope everyone understands that this Christmas. It's not about what you're getting. It's about the people you get to share it with. Many of us have lost loved ones or are losing loved ones this year. It's this time of year that we all sort of understand that we're thankful for the people we get to share it with, rather than the presents we get. On a lighter note, like I said, please, period costume. It will be revealed closer to the time, but we need as many people there in period costumes as possible, if we will. It should be good. We've got a few things we want to do. As I said, nearer the time, it's a need to know basis sort of thing, and as I'm sure you're all aware, I appreciate. But it should be a good one.
Yeah.
It's not just me hat as well. A flash. It's Rudolph.
You fucking thinking the piece of it, I don't know from you, mate. That thing you got there.
Well, I thought I'd make this live legendary. Right.
Yeah. We get let's just go through a few things. Evening, prim and proper. Merry Christmas to you, James. Evening, James West. Happy Christmas to you, brother. Carry on. Prim and proper's already got his bar humbug costume on. Oh dear, funny. But yeah, in the new year, guys, we will be doing action. So we're going to show you that, you know, the Constitution does work, and it has always worked. It's just you guys got to get behind it. That's all, basically.
Exactly. It's always been there. We've always been able to use it. It's just learning how to use it and going and doing it, and as many people doing it as possible. Like I said, the more people that wake up to this and start using the proper laws, that's when we'll start to see proper results. Can't stress this enough. And like I said, it is. Please, I mean, it's not too late now. Most people have got online banking. Yeah. Let's give the government a nice Christmas present.
I mean,
let's get it so they wake up in the new year.
AJ's done a video where it's showing you the wrong way to do it, where people just go into places with a piece of paper and start shouting, "Oh, I'm under common law, this, that, and the other," and think they can just you know, turn over and do what they like. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have the right. You've got to have lawful excuse for the start, as you know, Nate. You can't just
lawful reason and lawful excuse. You need lawful reason to do an action, which
you sound like a garlic, mate.
I'm not well, but you need lawful reason. If you don't have a lawful reason, then you don't have excuse to act, and that's what I mean. You need lawful reason to then have lawful excuse to act.
I don't know what it's like on YouTube, but it sounds like Max Headroom from where I'm sitting here now. Yeah, we will walk the talk. You'll see, but we won't just do any old action. We won't just go in. waving paperwork about. We do it all, make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. We don't just go in there waving a piece of paper about saying, you know, we're here under common law and you listen, because you've got to have the right you're doing to begin with. And that's what the video that AJ has today is explaining, that there's a right and wrong way to use common law. That's where people are getting mixed up and saying it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It does work.
Yep. A lot of people get it wrong through the wording. A lot of people get it wrong through applying the wrong law to the wrong thing. I mean, it has to be done in the right way. If it's done in the right way, and a lot of people don't seem to realise as well, a lot of it is the way you act and the way you come across. It's presentation.
Dave, turn your lights off on your bloody police are outside, mate.
But this is what people got to understand. You've got to do it in the right way. If you do it in the right way, it is effective. It does work. But you've got to do it in the right way.
Yeah. He's got a witness unit in it. But yeah, you know, so you will see in the new one. Evening, Lisa Marie.
Evening, everybody.
But yeah,
thank you for joining us.
Been shared to Facebook as well. This has so people can link on it on Facebook and come and watch. Yeah, it's a one-man disco. Very true, that, Jay.
Well, we did say we was going to do like a Christmassy sort of special one, so I thought I'd make the effort. Like I said, I've even got like the reindeer T-shirt on, Rudolph's nose flashes. See, I've got the full hog. Plus, my daughter loves it. So, one of them. I think we'll end up doing some more as well. There's always the Halloween special to look forward to, or the Easter one.
Pickering lights.
Does everyone want me to turn this off then? It's still the ones in the background, can't help that.
But the CMW, but the movement as a whole, the whole Patriot movement, done a fantastic job, because he's, you know, he just puts the truth out as he sees it, and he just wants debate. And that's basically why we set this new channel up. So there's plenty of debate. There's going to be plenty of debate. That is the main.
I can't stress enough. This is
objective of it all.
Yeah, this is going to be a freedom of speech. Obviously, it goes without saying certain things will not be tolerated. But as far as I know, it's going to be a completely free speech platform, proper debates, not structured, not fake in any way or one side. This is going to be a completely open and honest platform for debate, and it's been needed a long time coming, because there's been nothing like this, and this is the first time anything like this is going to be done and done properly. So this is going to be big again. This year is going to be very, very big. We know about our laws now. We know about our constitution. We know where we need to start doing things. We've now pretty much, most of us are aware of the causes that everyone's fighting for now. Like I said, once we start getting our constitution and getting everything going in that way, we will then start to be able to change things. We can't stress enough, the only time anything ever changes is when it's changed by law, i.e. that's why there's such a big deal about the Brexit date being put into law. Like I said, so let's start getting laws changed, and we've got to get laws changed in the right way.
And like I said, guys, the first red flag you've got to look for is the 31st of January. If we're not out by the 31st of January, that's a big red flag, because Boris is not doing what he's promised.
And that's another reason why we will be doing our action in January as well, because we need to sort of give Boris a nudge and make sure it will hopefully try and make sure he goes in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these. Yeah, that's correct. Brainwashed. Unless things can be debated in a civil manner, how do people ever think it can change. Well, Rick certainly grew in stature and with his presence and that now, because you've all seen how Rick started off, and now Rick is like a seasoned professional.
And he is. I mean,
he has his,
so far.
Yeah, he's grew immensely, and he don't lose his temper anymore, and fair play to him. He's learnt the right way to do things, and he's grew, and he's now.
Well, that's exactly it.
He can debate anybody now without losing his temper, which can only be good for the channel.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing with Rick. He's come so far. I can't praise the man enough, and how far he's actually came. I mean, in the beginning, as you say, he had we all know he had a bit of a temper. The debate wouldn't often go thing, but now, and this is another thing, it's people like Rick that are actually showing the rest of us, or a lot of us, how to actually do things in the right way. Because as I said, he didn't start off great, but now he's had enough where he's been open to debate and he's willing to debate people. He's got to the point now where, like you say, he can debate anybody now because he's learned how to debate, and all it takes is basically just to learn to be civil. And I think Rick is showing a lot of us the way to go in that way. I mean, you can either like Rick, or you he's the man way. He's debated quite a lot of people, and a lot of people have actually praised him on his debates and the way he's debated them. I mean, and these are people that are not meant to like him. So again, I mean, we can look at people like Rick, and this is where we want to go in the future. This is why this new platform is going to be so important, because we're going to be able to have debates, open debates, where there's nothing hidden, there's no moderators, nothing's going to be deleted or anything. It's bare bones, and it's going to be done properly.
So Danny's just put it up there. Dan Tarrigan's Tree of Truth. Go and watch his videos. Very enlightening, and also Rude Awakening as well. Go and watch his videos. It's not biased in any way, because people think he's biased. He's not. If I say something wrong, Rick will pick me up on it. You know, so I don't think that was right or whatever. So there you go. It's not.
And can I just say
it follows us, Rick does, because we follow the Constitution, and that's what Rick believes in. He knows it's a solution. So that's the main reason Rick follows us, and because we do tell the truth. But if we get things wrong, he will pick us up on it.
Exactly. I mean, Rick said enough times himself, the reason why he follows us is because he does believe in the Constitution and common law. He's used it himself. He's seen it working. He knows, he believes us that we're telling the truth. I mean, and like you say, if he wasn't, he'd doubt us. And sometimes, even when he has some doubts, he's quite happy to phone us up and say, I've got some doubts about that. And then he sees the proof, and then it's saying that I said. But this is the thing. Could I just say one thing as well? In no way, shape or form am I saying anything about Wake Up or slating Wake Up. This is a completely different platform to Wake Up. Like I said, Wake Up is Wake Up. This is going to be a completely open debate platform where it's going to be done properly in a way it's never been done before. I'm not slating Wake Up UK at all, so I want to just make that clear now before I get any of the messages or I get attacked about it. I'm not saying that. Wake Up is going to be a different type of platform to what is actually coming out. So look for this new platform.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I didn't even mention Wake Up. So
no, it's just a few people in the chat room, so I thought I'd make it clear.
Another person who's in the chat who's come a long way is Young Alex.
Yes.
I think it's Young Alex. I'm not sure. But anyway, if it's not, the word will get out to him that he's awesome as well, what he does. He's only a young lad, and, you know, he's ahead of his years for, you know, knowing what's going on. He's awake, and he can wake the younger generation up, and that's what we need. More people like Young Alex as well, who is there, and he's going to wake up the younger people, because they need to be woken up.
Again, Alex, very passionate. I mean, beyond his years, and even the wanting to understand is beyond his years. Again, another inspiration. Alex is a complete and utter inspiration. I'm probably one of his biggest fans. I've already said I'm his #1 fan. He's an inspiration to us all. I mean, again, this is a person. This is a young man. I'm calling it. He's a young man. He's done things off his own back at his age, so he should basically. Yeah. I mean, he can put a lot of us to shame, I'd say.
Well, that's the thing I was going to mention with Alex. The difference is with Alex, if you say something to Alex, he will go and research it himself to make sure what you're saying is true, which is what we want everybody to do. And Alex does do that.
Yep. And he's learning and he's coming on leaps and bounds. He's doing a lot of things. I mean, most people, I can't say too much because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but there is things in the pipeline that's happening and has actually happened with Alex and that lot. So there's a lot to look out for him as well. Please follow him, follow what he does. Amazing young man.
Yeah. I don't know if it's young Alex, Victoria. I'm just thinking it is him. I'm not 100% sure that it is. It's just he's the only one we know his name Alex who follows us, really. The other thing I wanted to have a quick say a quick thing about is Dean and Claire Cumberbatch. I mean, yesterday, whoever's put them pictures out, it's disgusting. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
It's abhorrent. It's a disgrace. Yeah.
Because you're trying to bring down somebody who's a true patriot and is for the truth. And all you're doing, you're making yourself look bad. Because everybody who knows Dean knows he's not that type of person anyway. He wouldn't put fake pictures on. So whoever's been doing that, you want to give your head a wobble, mate, and pack it in because it's wrong.
I believe he's a grenadier, isn't he, Mr. Cumberbatch? This is the thing. The man is not just a veteran. He's not just a patriot. The man does so much behind the scenes and a lot of other things that people don't know about. And he's helping a lot of people. Again, it's a situation we find ourselves in, Gary. A lot of people attack us, and it's like they're trying to have a Facebook page taken down. Dean Cumberbatch is helping a lot of people that you don't even know about and you'll never know about. And trying to attack him and cut his ways off of basically communicating with people, things like that, is atrocious. Because you're not just hurting him, you're hurting the people he's trying to help. And they're the people that do actually really need the help. And again, I think it's Simon Bean, wasn't it, who put the photo on? You can blatantly see it's photoshopped. So I said, if you think it's funny or you think it's a joke, it's not a joke. It's not funny. Especially,
let me just explain. Let me just explain. Right, D. What happened was people have put pictures of Dean supposedly in an SAS beret, etc., etc. But it's all photoshopped. It's not. They're trying to make him bad as if he's trying to be something he's not. But it's all photoshopped. It's not true. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not true. Dean's not done that. So whoever's put him on there, them are the ones to blame, and them are the ones who should be outed from the movement. Because it's wrong. If it's true, fair enough. But when it's wrong, no, it's not right at all. And I don't agree with it. And that's why we're on here now. We'll back Dean to the hills because he's a decent, genuine guy.
And this is what we've been saying for a very long time. And it's things like this. Most people keep saying, "Oh, the infight and things like this." This is why groups do need to be cleaned up. I'm not being funny. You can still have people following you, but you can keep them out of a group. If people are going to get hold of you and blatantly basically try and cause trouble or things like that, or even if it's someone who's not in the group who just wants to attack you, these things are going to happen. So this is why people, when you say, don't stop saying infighting to everything, because a lot of the time these people sticking up for decent people, because there is people that just like to cause trouble, like to stir the pot. So it isn't infighting. I mean, we do have to clean up our groups. We do have to clean up our things, because at the end of the day, when we take our country back and everything gets sorted out and it's back to the way we want it, you've got to think about it. Do you really want the people? Because it's going to be the patriots and the veterans that we're all going to look for to take certain positions and roles in this. I mean, do we want people we can trust, or do we want people that we can't trust? So it is a case of that. And someone like Dean Cumberbatch, who's an upstanding member of the community. I mean, the man is beyond reproach, really. I mean, you can't say anything. I mean, he does so much. And his lovely wife as well. Same thing, does so much. And he's terminally ill. The man has got illnesses that people, I mean, a lot of things as well people don't know about. He has a lot of troubles with that people don't know about. And to attack the man is disgraceful. So again, it's not infighting. These people need to be outed. And we've got to basically say that we will not accept this kind of behaviour. And until we start outing these people, say, look, no, these are the people, stop doing it, we're not going to accept it, it's going to keep happening.
Exactly, because the trouble is when things happen like this, just like with Sean, when it happened with Sean, people let it bust under the carpet, so it don't matter. But it should matter, because people shouldn't be around indecent people where we've no proof, etc., which they have done to Dean. It's wrong. You know, Dean is a good man, and I will back him 100% all the time over that, because, you know, why would you do that, though? That's the thing. Why would you do that? But
exactly. Is it jealousy? Is it jealous? Was it meant to be a prank? Is it jealous? Because I can't say it being a prank, but is it jealousy? Is it just to throw a spanner in the works because a lot's starting to move forward now? I mean, there could be many reasons. Probably it all stems from a form of jealousy. But this is the thing. It's like the same with Dean. We've always backed our veterans to the hilt. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I say, if a veteran steps out of line and he does something wrong, then yes, he should be named and shamed. I'm sorry, but he should. So we can then say we will not accept this. I'm not saying he needs to be beaten up or anything needs to happen. I'm not saying go to the police, but he needs to be named and shamed so his deeds are known, and therefore he can change his ways. But we've always backed our vets, no matter what. We've never even had to, most of the time, and I'm sure Dean vouch for us on that one. All they have to do is ask, and we're there. We'll support them in any way we can. And like I said, in this way, we're doing the same thing. We can't allow this to go on with what's happening, because it's absolutely appalling. Dean has done nothing wrong. All Dean has done is give up actually sacrificed a lot of his health, a lot of his time with his lovely wife, to help people. And this is how he gets repaid. I think it's disgusting. And again, the man doesn't accept any money, and this is a thing. That's another reason why Rick follows us, because we don't accept money. We don't have PayPal accounts and things like that. And as far as I know, Dean Cumberbatch doesn't accept a penny for the things he does. So like I said, these are the people we should be holding up, not putting down. But there you go.
I've said it all along. We've said it all along. There's a difference between like the Justice for the 21 and things like that. That you've got to have funds, because that needs justice.
Yeah.
But the ones who are just in it as patriots, who are supposedly telling the truth about things and wanting the country back from the government and know about the Constitution, they should be giving the information out for free.
Yeah.
But like I said, decent causes like Justice for the 21, who are now like blooding personally and all that, they are good people. They deserve the justice. That's why they got. You can understand why they have the GoFundMes, etc., because they need the funds to take the people to court to get the justice for the 21 who was horrifically killed back in 74. And that's 100% acceptable. What's not acceptable is people who are going round as patriots. Well, I'll come as long as you subscribe, and as long as you pay me money and feed me GoFundMe, I'll come and I'll be there. That's not good enough.
No.
That needs to stop. But, if you're in it for the right reasons, do it for free like we do.
Exactly. It's like with Dean Cumberbatch, for instance. I mean, that man, I'm hoping he doesn't mind me saying so, but I mean, that man does a lot of things with veterans with suicide, PTSD, and that's not just veterans as well. I think one of the things involved with is open to everybody. There's things going on behind the scenes with the veterans and that in many different ways. And this man, as far as I know, yes, things like these charities and that, like, yes, they get money, but as far as I know, Dean Cumberbatch doesn't take a penny for himself out of anything, and he still gets slated. Like I said, it's disgusting, because for some reason, the people, especially on Facebook, the people that really should be held high and helped and given the attention seem to be pushed down and attacked, and the people that really just take the money and blatantly just don't do nothing, just take the general piss basically, seem to be put on a pedestal. It's becoming a joke. The people that actually generally trying to help people, like I said, like Dean Cumberbatch, he's being attacked now. Things like that can damage his reputation. That could stop the charities getting donations. It could stop a lot of things. I mean, and that's stopping people getting help. Stop doing it. Start popping up the people that are doing things for free. Start popping up the people that are actually doing things for the right reasons. Stop popping up the people that they're just to basically sound off. There's people out there that are actually doing things that need your help.
Yeah, well, Sean, I think Sean's going to be camping out with Joseph and Bobby Blair. Well, you know, last year I went, as you know, I went and filmed it live with Joseph and Bobby Blair from Birmingham. I went over myself last year. Unfortunately, this year I can't make it this year, but otherwise I would have gone as well myself. But that's, you know, we go as and when we can. But like I said,
I wasn't invited, so I couldn't.
Yeah, we never charge for anything. We never will.
Like I said, if I can get there, I will.
Yeah.
I just need to be notified if I can get there.
Another thing I want to talk about as well while we're on the subject is social services, guys. Yeah. We've really got to get on top of this next year and start backing the people like Mark and Cara Amor. Cara Amor. Is it Amor or Amor? Armour, ain't it?
Armour, yeah.
Yeah, cousin Coat of Armour. Yeah. Mark and Cara Armour. You've got to start backing people like these because, I mean, if you've seen the message on there, it's the messages he's been putting on this Christmas. It's so destroying to think that they're having that every single year. And all the woman did was went in for an operation, asked them, told them to look after the kids while they recuperated, and they've took them off her. It's disgraceful. Really, really is.
I mean, talk on that subject. This is happening nationwide, and this is what people need to understand. I mean, we've got to get on top of this, and it's only when the people stand up and start acting. And I'm sorry, but voting and doing what we're doing is not going to bring Parliament to account. The only time they're going to be brought to account is when we stand up and we actually bring them to account, make them actually govern us how they should be, giving us the freedoms and the liberties and the rights we should be having. That, I mean, and stopping, atrocities. I mean, like I said, it's nationwide, it's the whole of the UK. I mean, in fact, a lot of this happens worldwide. Like I said, this needs to stop. And unfortunately, I mean, some people may not have kids or their kids have grown up and left home for that, but it affects all of us. If we don't start bringing our communities back, if we don't start looking out for each other, and that's even when it doesn't affect you. If there is an injustice, you are duty bound, believe it or not, by our constitution to actually do something about it. Yeah. So let's start doing something.
Yeah, so if anybody out there has had your children taken unlawfully, etc., get in touch with Mark and Cara Armour, but it's spelled AMOUR, but it's said Armour, Mark and Cara Armour, and start getting in contact with each other and start, all the people who've had these problems with social services, you've all got to start getting together and comparing your cases. The ones that have got genuine cases. We know some of them haven't. We know some people haven't got genuine cases, but some have. And that's the only way you're going to find out is by, I think he was, yes, Mark was the one who was run over. But seriously, it breaks my heart to see people like that every year, and every time Christmas comes around, they've still not got the kids back. It's disgusting. And all they are really is social services would have been good. They should have been in chitty chitty bang bang. Social services. The child snatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I don't know whether that's where they got the idea from, but you know, because say they put it in the film, they put it what's going to happen in the films 30 years ahead, and maybe that was I'm telling you.
There is always a message in a lot of them old films. There's always a message, and most people don't understand the message. But we're starting to now. We're starting to now.
Yeah. So maybe that was put in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the child snatcher, to tell you what was going to start happening in today. Seriously, guys, you need to start waking up to the problems, because it won't be till you have your children taken off you that you'll suddenly realise, oh shit, they've took my kids now. Don't let that happen. Let's get on top of this before it gets out of hand. That's all I'm saying. And the homeless and the veterans on the streets, it's disgusting. You shouldn't have anybody on the street living rough in 2020, which it will be next year. You shouldn't have anybody living rough. Honest to God, the government could quite easily in every single town find a derelict building and do it up for next to nothing and make it into an homeless shelter for veterans and homeless people in every single town. There's no excuse. I'd rather them do that than send all our money and what have you to third world countries. Look after your own first. Charity begins at home, in my opinion.
Well, this is the problem. We're all noticing it now. I mean, both parents are having to work to make ends meet and barely making ends meet. Things like this is the whole thing, and we're giving away all this money. It sounds some people are going to go, oh, it's selfish. It's not actually. To make sure to get everybody to a standard in our own nations where we're all living comfortably means we have the means then to help other people. If helping other people means that we're putting ourselves in debt and putting ourselves down, then it means we can't help people. People got to understand this. We have to maintain a basic, not basic, but a comfortable life and a way of living for each and every one of us before we should even think about giving money away or helping other countries, because basically we're not going to be able to help them. All we're doing is destroying ourselves, which is going to destroy them. And a lot of these places, people don't understand this. We may be giving aid, but a lot of it as well, that the thing that's also being done to the countries is they're being put in a lot of debt. So it's not really going and helping them. I'm not being funny. It's not. And most of it, and the people have got to realise, research the charities the global charities that you're going, because most of it does not go on them. I mean, when most charities, I was doing a bit of research, I think the average wage, and this is not the top earners, this is not the CEOs and that lot, but the basic workers, the average wage worked out through the whole lot of them is about 40,000, I think, 40 to 60,000 pound a year. Now that's roughly the same as a doctor earns in a year, and that's the average wage. And in these charities, I mean, the CEOs go up to, we're talking like 6 figures for a salary per year. You know what I mean? Most of the money does not. Everybody gets paid and everything gets done before anybody sees any money, and most of that money is not seen. I think it's 2018. I think one charity, I can't remember which charity it was, but I think out of the millions that it actually was donated, I think it may have even been, I'm sure, but out of the millions that was donated, I think 20% of the money that was donated actually went to helping the people. It's ridiculous. So 80% of that charity's money went on basically keeping a deficit and paying their wages.
The problem you got is like I've said, Diana's hit the nail on the head. Foreign aid needs to stop. Or if they're going to do foreign aid like they're doing, instead of having children in need, let's have a veteran and homeless in need day on the BBC, one of the Fridays towards whenever they're going to do it. But maybe we should have an annual veterans and homeless day.
Yeah, I mean, no, don't bang on. It needs to stop. Like I said, we have got veterans that sleep on the street. I'm not being funny. We've got families, and it is actually proven now. Before people go, "Oh, you exaggerated." There is actually families now that are living on the street. They become. I mean, a family becomes homeless. It does actually happen. I mean, we've got to start getting on top of this. I'm not being funny. It's like something like, I think it was last year alone, 50,000 social housing properties were given to basically what is actually labelled as illegal immigrants. So these are not people that come to, and I'm not bashing anything. Please understand, this is just purely technical. they're illegal. So they come into this country illegally, which makes them criminals. Okay, I don't care which way you look at it, they're criminals. They didn't enter the country properly. 50,000 social housing homes went to illegal immigrants last year alone. Now that could have took a chunk of the families and the veterans off the streets, but instead no. So law-abiding citizens. I mean, it's starting to get to that point where, and this is what worries me about societies, because this has happened in the past, in our past history, and in other civilizations' past histories. When it gets to the point like this, you get a lawless society, and I think this is being done to us on purpose, because you start to see the people that don't deserve it, or the people that don't earn it, start to get everything.
Well,
So
like I said,
I might as well do this because I'm screwed anyway. And I think it's being done by design. That's why we need to stand up in a lawful manner and take this, basically lead by example, take the bull by the horns, do it in a lawful manner, and just take back control and sort this country out.
Maybe that's what we should be doing, Nathan. Maybe we should get some paperwork together and hit the BBC and the law courts with a stop foreign aid. Let's get people in need. UK, let's get that sorted instead. And then when it's all sorted and we've got no homeless and all that here, then by all means send some more foreign aid. But until the point we sort our own homeless and veterans homeless out and people in need who are living on the breadline, it should all be kept here for us. We pay the taxes. We should keep it here for our own people. And maybe we should be putting that down and bringing them to book on it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, we know they won't, because they won't want to admit that there is as much poverty as there is in Britain. But you could call it poverty in Britain. I'd say don't approach it as stop aid and things like that. Let's do little litmus tests. Just say, look, how about, well, you've got Red Nose Day, you've got Pudsey and that lot. How about we do a poverty in Britain or homeless in Britain, or event?
People in need, people in need, UK.
That's what I'm saying. People in need in UK, and I mean, give it to them that way. Don't say anything about the other aid. Just say, look, we've got all these other ones. How about doing this one? If there is someone of influence that may order us, just write a letter in there and suggest it. Just suggest doing one for the homeless of Great Britain. And then if they put it on there, then I'm not being funny, I'm pretty sure they'll get a gauge, because I reckon most people probably would then donate to that rather than Pudsey, which has been now uncovered under a massive amount of fraud. And they'd donate to that, and they maybe would think. But I personally don't think they're going to take it up, because we all know the BBC and all the media is all controlled. So they're not going to want to bring light to the plight of the people in this country. They're going to want everything to think that it's okay, and we're, how can we say it, we're privileged compared to most people in the world. So we should be happy with our lot. That's basically their attitude. But
what we should be doing as people, like we've said, is all unite in mass under Article 61 and make sure they make it a priority, the people in need in this country. Because you've got January, February, March coming up now, for the coldest months, and it does get cold usually here. And that's too many deaths. Even the old people who have got roofs over their heads can't afford to eat. And it's 30,000 on average of them die every single year, needlessly, because governments are sending the money everywhere else and not helping our own elderly who've paid into the system all their lives. It's boiling my piss, and I'm fed up of it. And unless people wake up, and it ain't just elderly people now, it's normal families. You keep going to work 40, 50, even 60 hours a week, and everything's going up and up and up and up and up, and you ain't going to be able to afford to live soon. So it's going to affect everybody. You need to wake up and pass.
And again, just for clarity, people keep sort of saying about why do we mention Article 61, why we say that, because basically Article 61 is multifaceted. one of the main aims is basically, and one of the main reasons, that it protects you in law. So basically, while you're in rebellion, lawful rebellion, and you're acting within the law and within our constitution and the constraints of Article 61, basically, if there is anything that comes of it and you try to get accused of anything, then you have Article 61 to fall back on and say, look, I was given permission to do this. In fact, it states quite clearly here, I'm duty bound to do this. So it gives you lawful protection. It also, and a lot of people don't understand, because most people seem to think, I send it off and then boom, overnight, something magical happens. It doesn't. But once you get enough numbers of Article 61 forms sent in, then that's the way people think it's voting. It's not. Voting is a completely separate thing. All you're doing is you're basically deciding who you're being governed by. It's nothing to do with whether you like it or not. Whereas Article 61 is our only way as citizens to say we are not happy, something needs to be done. And in a way where it has to be done. Under Article 61, it has to be done. If you're doing a petition or you're doing a march or something like that, nothing has to be done about it. But under Article 61, once the people stand up and say, we want remedy, this has to stop. It has to stop. It's part of law. So, I mean, it's multifaceted. People got to understand this. It does many things. It's not a magical cure by any means, no. But it gives you protection and it gives you the means under your own volition to actually do something and actually change things. And we all keep saying we want change. We keep giving a solution. But it means you're going to have to start taking part in things. It means you're going to have to. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, but I'm housebound or I'm disabled. You can still do things. By going to lawful rebellion alone, you're actually in direct action. Even just entering into Article 61, you are actually in a direct action until remedy is sought. So even if you just do that, you're in direct action. So, I mean, most of the stuff that we say that you can do, for instance, like stopping a council tax, that can mean stopping a direct debit or something like that. Stopping your TV license, we've got a letter. It just means sending it off. I mean, we've got things you can do from the comfort of your own home as well. It's not just all about getting out on the streets and marching. Most effective way we're going to defeat this government is by removing the money. If we stop paying them the money, they then don't have the power. They stop having the power to pay them in because they don't have the money to pay people to get things done. Like I said, and we said
what we should be doing as people now is, you've hit the nail on the head. Everybody should stop paying the council tax, and then instead of giving it to government, in every single town and city throughout this country and Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, there should be, every single person should use that money and go and help the homeless, go and buy sleeping bags, tents, everything for the homeless with the money that would be paying council tax, and say to the government, if you're not going to do anything about it and you're not going to help them, we'll stop paying our taxes and we'll help them until you decide you are going to do something about it, and then we'll start paying them again.
Yeah, and keep the receipts of everything you buy. Yeah. And keep the receipts of everything you buy from the homeless if you buy sleeping bags and stuff like that, because it's proof that you spent that money on stuff that the council should be doing themselves. They should have a roof over these people's heads, but they haven't. So keep the receipts. In lawful rebellion, you want to document everything you do. So if a later date anything is that you are accused of something, everything you've done under Article 61, whether it be write a letter, whether it be go to an action, is all written in like a diary. But you'll have receipts and certain bits like that. Keep a record of it all, because that's what you want to do. That's what you should be doing. But keep a record of it all, and we can do this. The best Christmas present I think the government could get right now, especially when they walk in New Year, would be that everyone is, like I said, you've got online banking. Stop your direct debit. Stop paying council tax. They're not using the money to do the right thing, so therefore, you mean you're paying, and this is where they're getting a lot of you. A lot of people don't understand this. Half the reason why the government get away with towing cars and doing half the stuff they're doing is because we're actually acting unlawfully. But most of us don't know that. So they get the right to do this because we're the criminals. That's why we say, come over to the right side, start acting lawful, which then makes them the criminals. But at the moment, until you're acting the right way, in the right manner, should I say, we are the criminals. Like I said, we're paying taxes we shouldn't. You know what I mean, we're paying money towards a government that's buying guns, and then when you go and vote for these governments, these parties, you're okaying what they're doing with that money, so you haven't got no room to complain. But the ones of us that are in Article 61, the people that have actually stood up and said, no, we're not having this no more, we have a right to complain. And we will be doing something about it.
James has just put on, if you guys want lawful rebellion, you have to push it more. And stop sidetracking. James, nobody pushes it more than us, mate. We're on it all the time. We often come on and tell people, stop paying your taxes, stop paying your TV licence, stop paying this, stop paying that. Get in lawful rebellion, Article 61, and do these things, and do it en masse, because the only way you're going to out this government is remove the money. You don't need to go down on the streets kicking off. Remove the money.
And actually, James, on the note of your thing, a lot of people have actually commented, because when we started this, most people didn't even know about common law. They didn't even know we had a constitution. And there's quite a thing, even from other groups actually, that have done things about lawful rebellion. There's members of other groups that have actually basically said that it's basically me and Gary from like the White Pendragons and Constitution Movement Worldwide. It's us and that lot, not just me and Gary, I mean, but it's like them two groups are the ones that have actually got common law and the constitution back out there in the public. So we've been doing our best, and we're still here, still doing it, and we've learned you've got to do it bit by bit. There is other bits for people that are already gone through the basics and know more. There's other bits, and we'll be doing more on that side of it, because you've got to remember people at different stages. At the moment, we're just trying to get everybody on page one. Once everyone's on page one, we can then move to page two.
The problem you've got, Nathan, and everybody's going to agree with me, is that everybody's fearful.
Yeah.
If I don't pay my power tax, I'll put me in prison. If you all do it en masse, they can't put every single person in prison. They can't take every single person to court. It's impossible, and especially when you can do it lawful and legally as well. Under Article 61, they won't have a leg to stand on if you all do it en masse. Well, you've got to lose the fear and do it.
Yep. I'm Spartacus time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what James does mean, Rick.
Yeah.
We need to find out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this new channel, this new YouTube channel we've got coming along, Talk for Free after Christmas. Hopefully, like I said, it's going to be free to subscribe. It's going to be free to watch, to get the videos. And we won't be asking for any funding. When we have things like this, people will be able to call in. Okay, we can't not be charged for the phone call, but we won't be getting it. It would just be a normal rate. Most people now get free calls, limited calls anyway. It'll only be a normal phone number you've got to ring in. It won't be a special, an 01445 number or something where it costs you $150. I mean, it'll just be one of us lads will have a mobile. You'll call us on the mobile, just be a normal call. So if you get free calls, it won't cost you to call.
And
so it won't be free.
And hopefully we'll have more.
So it won't be for free. Maybe that's a way on that platform. Maybe that's a way of getting the message out a bit farther, because we'll have both our Facebooks, we'll have this YouTube channel, we've got our YouTube channels, our own YouTube channels, and then we're going to have this other one that's Talk for Free, and that's going to be basically for these ones are our channels so we can push the Constitution. But the Talk for Free one is going to be for everybody. Discuss absolutely, well, you can on here, but that more so, you can discuss absolutely any topic you want. And it's to invite debate, like they had the other day with James and Mark Collette. It's going to be that type of channel where you can have people who want to debate each other go on there.
Yeah. In a safe environment, in a mature manner.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have more. Hopefully we'll have more people like James coming forward. I mean, James, honestly, mate, any ideas you've got in that way? Because people have been saying to us, maybe we need to sort of set up a few little sort of like teams, like a PR, like public relations team and certain bits like that. So, James, mate, if you've got any ideas and you think you can help in any way, please, more welcome. But you've got to understand one thing: there's no leaders to our movement as per se. Basically, everyone's encouraged to do things and take their own initiative. So, for instance, I mean, we have some people, and it's happened in the past, where some people want to help. They may not be able to get out and about. So what they've done is they've paid to have, say, like 500 leaflets printed off. They've then sent them to someone who's willing to post them out. And they've been posted out. So we all sort of work. Basically, we don't get any funding. So this is all off our own back. So we work with what we've got. So any ideas, any help, more than welcome. Criticism as well, because criticism, believe it or not, if it's done in the right way, is very helpful as well. That's why we don't have a go or delete people, block people who are criticising anything we do, because a lot of times it can be a help.
Right, Nathan. Somebody just put on here, paying tax is treason if you're in lawful rebellion. So how do you stop paying tax when it's taken automatically out of your wages? I would say, en masse, again, you take the government to court and you tell them you're in Article 61, they are committing treason by going against what you're allowed to do by law, and I would take them to court en masse.
But this is the thing, we've actually covered that before. I mean, a lot of people find this problem. I mean, I've had quite a few people contact me about benefits because it's in your benefits, you can't stop paying it. If you're in lawful rebellion, yes, technically speaking, yes, it is treason to pay or to carry on paying tax. Technically speaking, unlawful tax, but any tax at all, really, because it's the government that's actually being tyrannous. But what will actually cover you under Article 61 and any future prosecutions is if you can show an attempt to stop to paying that tax. So if you've attempted to stop it and it's been, i.e. an attachment of earnings order, where it's a third party contract where it's being taken out of your wages, my advice would be to notify the bank and the employer and the people that's doing it. They probably won't listen, but then you've got proof, and document the proof of selling. That's why you always send, really, you want to send so you get a signed, so it's signed for, so you've got proof of delivery. Then once you've got proof that you've attempted to withdraw this tax from the government, but they have tyrannously taken it from you anyway, that just adds more proof, like Gary says, to a court case if everybody wanted to take certain people to court in a class action, for instance. So documentation of you attempting, like I said, most trying to stop a direct debit, something like that. If you can prove that you've attempted to stop paying these taxes, you remain lawful. If it is being taken under duress, I mean, i.e. you can't stop it. So don't worry about that, as long as you can prove that you've attempted to stop it.
But this is what we're trying to say now. After Christmas, we are going to be putting the paperwork together to go down there, and we're going to do it lawfully. And it's all going to be above board. All the paperwork's going to be lawful and legal. And then we will be putting that in about all this sort of thing. That under Article 61, they cannot do these things to us. Because the next step is going to be, it's going to have to be, is going to be everybody en masse on the streets, and you're going to have to get down there en masse outside the Parliament and sort it that way. Don't want to do it that way. That's why we're going to be doing the paperwork that way, to tell them. You know, the next step will be, because what you've got to understand, people, is just like everything else, you've got to follow protocol. You've got to follow procedure. And the next procedure is, you're going to tell them that if they don't mend the errors of their ways, and if they don't let the people do what they've got to do under Article 61, the next thing will be exactly that. You will be en masse turning up down there, and you're going to remove them. Once you've done that, it makes it lawful. It gives you a lawful excuse, and it makes it legal because you've done it the correct way.
Yeah, like I said, you can't. We've said this so many times, haven't we, Gary? You can't just skip steps. Basically, Article 61 is our security clause. It's there. It's a constitutional law, basically. We have got to use it. What you can't do is just decide. It's like, for instance, take this for a scenario. I don't know. Somebody burgles your house, You find out who it is, but instead of phoning the police and having them prosecuted for it, I mean, some people are going to agree it's not, but this is just a hypothetical situation to show something. But instead of getting the police involved and getting this person put behind bars for a period of time, you decide to get a shotgun and murder the man in cold blood. I mean, you just don't do that. You don't skip that. You don't skip steps. You've got to do it in the right way. And before you even think about getting on the streets and becoming basically, well, civil unrest, before you become a domestic terrorist, you need to follow certain steps. And lawful rebellion is the ultimate. It's the last one. So until we've tried this, we shouldn't be trying anything.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
This is there in law.
I get that what they're saying, that millions, we've been going years and they still ain't got millions following us. Well, we ain't now. But what we're trying to say to these, we've got the remedies and we've got the answers. People don't want to follow it, don't want to get behind it. We can't be blamed for that. We can only tell you what your rights are, just like the police when they pull you out, they read your rights, and it's up to you what you do about it. We can only tell you what's lawful and what's not lawful, the way you should be doing it. And if you want your country back, if you want to get out of the tyranny, we can only guide you in the right direction. If we ain't getting the followers, that's not our fault. It's not the message that's wrong. It's just people ain't awake and don't want to follow it.
It's not just that as well. I'd like to point out, I mean, there's a lot of other people. I think Tommy Robinson didn't get millions of followers for it straight away. You've got to understand, yes, we haven't got millions of followers, but we are in multiple countries now. A lot of people don't understand that. There's multiple countries that we're actually a global movement, which is quite an achievement in itself. And we have had a steady increase since we started. So it's not bad at all. Yes, we haven't got the millions, but we're getting a lot of people that are starting to wake up. I mean, and you've got to understand this. A lot, you may look at the numbers, but a lot of people follow us that are not connected to our movement, that are not within our movement, not a member or anything like that. There's people that just watch us and follow us from a distance. So, like we said, it's hard for us to gauge how many people actually follow us and take note of us. So I don't see how anyone else can.
Exactly, we've got no way of finding out how many people follow us, only by the live streams and that. But you don't know how many people come on afterwards and watch it. Watch these things. It doesn't, you know.
It's not just that. I mean, there's one of my videos, and I believe one of yours as well, done the exact same thing. We know of certain through where we posted a lot. We know a certain amount of views. We know it went over something like 15,000 views. But if you remember, because we had a conversation about it, then we noticed that other people took our video, shared it somewhere else on a different platform that we didn't know about, and it had more views than the one we shared. Like I said, so we don't know how far we've got. We don't know who we're reaching, who's listening, because there's no way of gauging it, especially on social media, because a lot of things are picked up, downloaded, put out in a different way. There's no way of knowing. But all we know is when we first started this, common law and the Constitution was pretty much dead. Nobody really knew anything about it apart from a few, shall we say, elderly people. But now, everybody's starting to mention their common law rights. Everyone's starting to mention their unalienable rights. Everyone's starting to mention the Constitution. I mean, how much now? I mean, people have even commented on this. I mean, everybody knows we send a lot of paperwork to the government. I mean, I think it was it Gove? I think it was at the time I said that. I mean, we sent him a massive dossier. He was about 1.5 inches thick of certain bits. We do it quite a lot. But how many times was you hearing unconstitutional and unlawful in Parliament until a few years ago? Not that often.
Yeah. I mean, Rick's just hit the nail on the head. Rick's just hit the nail on the head as well there. Maybe we should be going down with paperwork as well to get rid of Sharia law. People to get behind that, because that was one of the main reasons most people voted Brexit, because they was frightened of the immigration.
We can do things like that, but at the moment, though, like I say, we can do that. That could be something for the pipeline. At the moment, we've already sort of got an action underway, so we need to finish that first. But I think, maybe we maybe should be taking a look at that then.
Yeah,
if that's
down there, get it in, and then like you say, if we get down there, get it in. We always video our films, all our stuff live. like we did in the Carnival event, so people will see us that we've not just said we've gone in there and did paperwork in. We've actually be there live doing it.
Like I said,
So
we're just one group. You know what I mean? Yes, we have groups in different countries, but we're just one group. I mean, as we said before, we're here for education and support now. So if there is somebody else who would like to take this up, for instance, I mean, not be funny, 10 people can do this and put it in. It doesn't matter because it's all basically the same people. You think it just shows there's more public interest, but we're here to support anybody. So not only could we look at doing something ourselves, but we can support other people in doing their way, doing something they want to do as well.
And that's why
this is the whole point.
That is why we're doing what we're doing now after Christmas as well. When we're bringing in on board like the Australians, the Canadians, the New Zealanders, the South Africans, because we're putting the shit out what's happening there, because we need to wake them guys up as well, because PESCO and the Lisbon Treaty affects them all. The more people we can wake up in the Commonwealth, the better, not just in this country. Of course, we've got to concentrate on this country, but we've also got to keep them guys aware of what's going on in their country, so we can start waking them up. Because we're going to need every single person.
I mean, people got to realise the reason why we're global, the reason why we do this with other countries as well. A lot of people say, "Oh, you should just concentrate on this country," but these are our colonial cousins. These are our cousins. I don't give a crap which country they're in. These are our cousins, basically. Most of the countries, it's going to affect most of these countries, if not all these countries. So yes, something happens here, something happens to our constitution. It's the mother of all constitutions. It's going to have a trickle down effect. I'm telling you. I mean, we've got groups in Canada, Australia, America. I mean, we've got groups in quite a few countries. I mean, Spain has approached us. A couple of people from Spain, Germany, France have approached us. So we at the moment, we haven't had time to really sort of move out there, and we're trying to get the people in place before we start the movement up, because we found that's easier. But they're coming shortly too as well. There'll be movements in them countries. I mean, the whole aim at the end of it is we all use our constitution to stand up against the tyranny that the world is being put under at the moment, and it is the only way we're going to be able to stop these people. But if we don't start doing something soon, they will, like they have been, and we've seen this now with the EU and their constant treaties like the Lisbon Treaty. It takes away our sovereignty, it takes away our power. This is why we're doing it. We're trying to get everyone to wake up and seize the power that they have within themselves, their sovereignty, and use it to stop what they're doing.
Yeah, James, you've been pushing Lawful Rebellion. We've been together for 5 years. You've been pushing Lawful Rebellion for 2.5 years. But the problem is, and what we've had is, for a hell of a long time, it was like we were standing in a field in the middle of nowhere with nobody listening. But to be fair, the last 6 months, people have started to get behind it. So that's what we've never give up. We've never give up. We could have done. We could have just said, you know what, time worth it. We never have done. We've carried on because we do love the people of this country and we do want our country back. That's why we keep at it. And we have started to reap the rewards a little bit with people starting to listen and get behind us. And that's all it takes, James. It only wants one spark. Like, we may go to London and do what we've got to do. I mean, when we did the Carn events, that wasn't about Lawful Rebellion, really. It was about subverting the Constitution. But that went well wide. We had millions of hits on that one.
And that's still going. That video is still going. It's still being watched. It's still. I mean, we was reported in Hong Kong. I mean, that's hard enough as it is. Anything to get reported in Hong Kong. We was actually reported in Hong Kong for doing that. So we did make waves with that one. But this is the thing. People got to understand. It's like this last year. It's been a mass upsurge. It's been a constant upsurge of people knowing and understanding common law and the Constitution for all the time we've been doing it. But it's been steady, getting more and more and more. We haven't just been stagnant. We've always been moving in an upward direction. It's just in the last year, it's pretty much shot through the roof. Now people are starting to understand that the people have to do something now against government. Government are not going to do it. In fact, they're the ones that are going to put us in this position. People are starting to understand the Constitution and the common law now. We're just one group that was on Facebook, and we've spread to MeWe, Telegram, a few other groups, things like that. But you've got to remember, one of the main reasons why we haven't got millions of followers and one of things, because we are not funded. We don't have someone from Israel or someone who's a millionaire pub chain owner who's backing us. So it's a lot harder for us to get the message out there. The message is getting out there. Like I said, it's on everyone's lips now. It's being talked about. But another factor, ever since we started this, is we've had either ex-members or people that have been rejected by the movement for certain reasons, who have been, in a way, kind of stabbing us in the back and stopping us aligning with other people. There's been a lot of that with other groups as well. It's been happening all the way along. But hopefully, eventually, and it seems to be now, we're going to start sort of putting all that crap aside, and people are going to start to sort of align with the right people and get things done. Because there's a lot of people, that talk, but not a lot of people that do.
I mean, Danny's just put on here Guy Fawkes made a difference. Actually, what people don't realise about Guy Fawkes is Guy Fawkes wasn't actually a good guy at all, because this was a Christian country, a Protestant country, and Guy Fawkes was Catholic. And what it was a coup d'etat by the church to blow, by Rome and the Pope, to blow the Houses of Parliament up and take the country back under Catholic rule. That's what Guy Fawkes was all about. He wasn't a hero at all. But we keep celebrating as if it was a great thing he was going to do. No, it wasn't. We'd have been a lot worse off, because now we would have been under Rome, under the Vatican.
Yeah. And I believe it would have been a republic, which we tried, and it didn't go very well. In fact, it's 8 years of our history that you pretty much don't get taught anywhere.
No. So, you know, but that's what we do. We, for some reason, this country celebrates things they shouldn't do, gets behind things they shouldn't do. Then other things, what they should be getting behind, they're frightened to death. And I don't get it, because you haven't. If 17.4 million people all of a sudden said, we've had enough, we're all heading down there with the correct paperwork, etc., the government would have to step down. It happened in Iceland not long ago, and they didn't actually do anything other than go outside the parliament banging pots and pans, and more of them joined every day. One person started on his own, then 2, then 10, then 50, then 100, then 1,000, then 10,000, 50,000, right up to about 250, 300,000 of them, because Iceland's only a small country. But it worked. They got rid of the government.
There's another country that threw all their MPs in the bin and that as well. Actually put them in dumps and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying do that with our thing, but the people can actually hold the governments to account, and that's what a lot of people think.
It's all about people power. If people lose a fear like they did in Iceland and get together and you don't need to take one day.
But it's like we said in, I think, not the last live, but the live before. I mean, just imagine this scenario, people. Okay, I mean, the government spend quite a lot of their time really on recovering money that they think you owe them, rather than actually sorting out any of the people that they need to sort out. So imagine this: say if every town across, say, just England, okay, right, leave the rest out, just say England, right? If there was 10 people in every town in the same week decided to stop paying council tax at the same time, the system would be overrun. They would find it very hard to get on top of that. Then if another 10 people from each town stop paying the week after that, it would be overrun. It would get to the point where the government would be so overrun they would not be able to recover that money anyway. And this is what we want to do. The whole point of Article 61 is you're to distress and distrain the government in any way possible. So removing your council tax, doing certain bits, just being generally awkward in everything you do is what you're meant to do. As far as seizing buildings and stuff like that, that we do under the Barons. That you've got to get clear. We don't just go out and start seizing buildings. That is not, we do not have the power under Article 61 to do that without command from the Baron. That's who we get our commands from. But we can distress and distrain the government in any way possible. So like I said, in every process, you can be as difficult as possible. You don't have to pay unlawful tax. I mean, that is the law. I mean, just because the government or the council say, oh, yes, you do, doesn't mean the law doesn't change just because they want you to. And they are going to say anything. They're going to threaten you with anything to get that money out of you. because this is how important it is to government. If you do not keep paying that money, they are powerless. They can't do anything. And that is the key to topple the government. We take away our money because it's not government's money. It's taxpayer money. It's the people's money that they use. And most of it is to do their gun smuggling and stuff like that, and to pay for their elite rings and certain bits like that. Most of the money you pay taxes for doesn't actually go on the roads and stuff like that. This is what you've got to understand. It goes in keeping them in the way they are, and goes in keeping their friends in the manner they're meant to be kept, not us. Have a look round. We are not being governed properly. We're not being kept properly. This is why we said don't vote. If you vote, you're agreeing to be governed. You're saying, right, carry on putting this in austerity. Carry on doing this. We're okay with this. I just want you to do it instead of that person. That's all you did by voting. But if you want to do something, stop your council tax, stop your TV license, stop paying these people. I mean, BBC, they own more than just the BBC, and this is what they're using. This the propaganda tools of the government. Stop your TV license, stop the propaganda getting out there, stop the council tax. It means the government can't pay for the propaganda to get out there, and it can't pay for them enforcement officers to come round and start put you under pressure and try and put you under fear. Like I said, stop the money.
But having said that, Nath, having said that, our licence money doesn't go to the BBC anyway. The BBC get paid straight from the EU.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a chunk of
So but what it would stop is wherever that TV licence money is going, it'll stop it going there, but it won't actually affect the BBC at all, because they get the money straight from the EU, because it's a propaganda machine.
Well, it will stop one thing, talking to charities, it's stopping your TV licence. You will stop millionaires, that the BBC are making millionaires, telling you and trying to make you feel basically like you're a bad person because you haven't given the last little bit of money you have or haven't got to somebody else that they've told you to. It'd stop that. But it's whether you want to do it. If you want change, you're going to have to act. And then this is the thing. There's a lot of people that are out there talking about the problem, and that's great because I'm not funny. Until we know the problem, we can't find a solution. There's also groups out there with solutions to certain problems. Ours, basically, is the first step we should be taking. Regain our laws and our control. Therefore, then we can start stopping the atrocities. That means we can change things by law. I mean, we've got to start making this happen. Right, and on that note, I think we're sort of getting a bit late now, aren't we?
Yeah, we better go. But yeah, guys, so just have a great Christmas and New Year, and just think positive for next year, because things can change. All you got to do is believe in your constitution, believe it works, because it does. And once you believe it and lose the fear and get behind it, you'll be amazed how powerful it actually is, and how liberated you will feel when you see it start working. As long as you got the mass of people behind you, and I don't mean millions. I mean, if you're going to do an action, if you've got the action we're going to do after Christmas is going to probably need 20, 30 people. That's it. It will still show you that the Constitution works. But on the bigger scale...
Can I just say one thing? It's like, I mean, yes, we can do it with that. I mean, the more the merrier, really. We need as many people there as possible. But what Gary's trying to say is you don't need millions to actually do actions like we're going to do. But if you do want to take part of this, preferably you've got proof, basic, you've got proof that you've actually sent off your lawful rebellion form, and basic proof that you've either tried to stop your tax or you tried stopping your tax, and preferably, if you can, period costume. Like I said, that will all be revealed at a later date, but please, a period costume, sort of at 1600, 1200, 1600 sort of medieval type costume would be great.
But all you've got to remember and think on this over Christmas is that if you all just lose the fear, it'll take one day for 17.4 million to march on that Parliament with the paperwork saying, we want you gone, we've got no confidence in you. They would have to go, 100%. And so you need to think.
In voting for No, and this is the thing, giving them your sovereignty like everyone did a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago, is not helping the cause at all. All you're basically doing is telling the government it's okay. And if Boris now, we as a majority, just puts May's deal through, we are now tied to the EU for the rest of our natural born life and our generation and generation after that. Basically, it's a never ending clause. It's like you get them leases for 99 years for £1. Problem is, it's not 99 years, it's something like 999,000 years. I mean, we're basically we're going to be sold down. That's why we're doing our action in January. We want to remind Boris there are certain laws that he's bound to, that he can do, and the people will hold him to. And there's a couple of other things we've got to do as well.
The Lisbon Treaty, unfortunately, doesn't have a veto to get out.
No.
That's what you've got to think of, guys. It's very, very serious.
This is why we've got to get out with no deal, work out a deal later on. Once we're secure, we can't have that Lisbon Treaty. It's basically it's destroyed. It's going to destroy our generations to come. We're talking possible military. Well, it is military conscription at the age of 16 from all children. They're going to be sent wherever the EU tells them to. That's 15 unaccountable, unelected people, by the way.
We should get one big, massive petition together for after Christmas, and I mean massive again. Millions and millions signing it, saying, listen, Boris, we did not vote to remain in the EU. There was nothing on the ballot paper other than, do you want to leave the EU? Do you want to remain in the EU? We've pressed leave button. And that's what you do. We're leaving. Why do you want to do any deals when you've left? That's what I can't get my head round. And other people with any sense can't get their head round. Why do you want to do a deal when you're leaving? Well, you wouldn't do a deal to go and keep paying your ex-wife. I'm on about now if you've just, you're not a million, because we know now they get half of everything, but if you're just a married couple that have split up and you just got a normal job, you wouldn't want to then carry on paying your wife for the rest of your life after the kids have grown up and everything. You wouldn't want to do it. Yes, you maintain your children, but you don't carry on paying for your wife after the kids have grown up and keep giving her money. That's what you're doing with the EU. You're saying, I want to leave, but I'll keep paying into the system.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
That's exactly it. You leave a relationship, but you decide to carry on paying for that person's life, even though you've left. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But saying that, talking about certain things like that, I mean, quite a few people have asked, as we were talking about the other day, Gary, quite a few people have asked about why don't we hit the towns anymore with like the megaphone and alert people. So maybe that's a way. Maybe we could organise a few different people in a few different towns to start a petition whilst we're notifying a few people, and we can start doing that in the new year as well. Might be worth a think.
It might be worth doing, but I don't think that's going to work. I think what you've got to do, you've got to get people in the towns to get a certain pub with a big lounge or whatever and say, listen, if we hold a meeting here, can we have the room for nothing? They usually do if you're going to fill it, pack it out, and you're going to...
Yeah. We're going to do them days. That's the big. We're going to do them days anyway. That's what we was talking about during like seminar days, things like that. I'm talking about when we've got to do everything we can. I'm talking about, because there's some people that have talked about it. If they want to get out in the town with a petition, we'll sort out the petition. We'll send them all the relevant things. They can print it out themselves and start a petition. Like I said, and then once they're doing that, if people want to do that, maybe if we can join them on the day and stuff like that. It's a way people can sort of meet us, get us out there. We can help them with their day. But we will, like Gary's just been mentioning there, we will be doing seminars where we will, because people will be talking about renting buildings, and they've got places they can do it in themselves, and that, where me, Gary, and a few others will be coming talking about the Constitution, about certain bits of paperwork, stuff like that. So I mean, there's going to be a lot in the pipeline this year. But if anybody wants to take up, like what Gary was saying there, if anyone's thinking about they may want to get into their local town and may want to get a few signatures, please let us know. And if there's enough interest, we'll sort out a petition. Everybody get like the covering part of the petition. All you do then is add the paper that you need people to sign, and then we'll get it sorted. And then hopefully, like I said, if we can, we'll get members of the Constitutional Movement worldwide to come and help you on certain days if we can.
Not a problem. So that's it then, guys. So have a very Merry Christmas and a absolutely fantastic and prosperous New Year. I hope we're all going to have that, because we're all going to get behind this Constitution and get these tyrannous, corrupt, evil traitors out of that Parliament one way or another. And we've got to just do it, but we need the masses. And like Rick said, maybe this new channel will help us in that, spread the message a bit quicker. Fingers crossed. So that's it from me. Here's my hand, here's my heart. I love every single one of you. We're never going to give up this fight as long as we can get on. Obviously, if they just shut it all down, there's nothing we can do about it. But we will be back. We will find a way of getting back. Yeah. But until then, we will be here all the day. Every day. We work on stuff.
Like I said, I just need to clarify again. I'm on a ban on Facebook, so I cannot reply to anybody in Messenger or post or like anything on Facebook. So even if you tag me in it, I can't like it for, I think it's another 25 days. I can't go live till February. So the only time you'll probably really see me until mid sort of January to late January is on YouTube or MeWe. Yeah. Get me on MeWe. Yeah. That I'm active on, but Facebook I'm banned pretty much till the new year anyway, so there's no point. Yeah. But, again, I'll carry on from that.
So
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a lovely new year. Remember, stay lawful. Yeah, stay lawful. Remember, stay lawful.
Yeah. Don't have any eggnog. It's not very nice anyway. But there you go.
This is England.
See you later, everybody. Take care.
Of St. George. This is the land of the free. Where the white cliffs meet.